Here we are. Our flight happened in France, in Chabre. Here's the Google Earth view of it. North is straight up, Chabre is down here, and we ended up landing there. South takeoff is right here, people taking off normally this direction, and today we're gonna be going north, which is coming this direction. It's a nice limestone cliff here. It's a really beautiful place to fly. As we didn't have much of a plan for today, we started off just kind of cruising around and feeling out the air and thinking what to do, where to go. So that took us some time and just kind of cruising about. First we thought maybe we could go all the way west here and follow the ridgeline, but it didn't seem to work very well with the wind, especially coming closer to this formation here. And the reason for that would be that with the north wind, which we had today, you have the air moving around all this place, and when you are this low where we are here, and this mountain range makes it kind of again messy, turbulent air, and that's why we didn't get anything and kind of was just sinking down. But also just in front here we didn't get a really nice climb, and so we just thought, you know what, let's hang out around the takeoff area, see what happens, and take it from there. So we got pretty high here and decided, you know what, let's just go forward and see what we can get. There's lots of landing options before the next mountain. This valley is alright to land in. Testing out Tandem, flying with a strong north wind and heading to Santander direction. We'll see how it goes. Connected to the next thermal. This mountain is straight into the wind, so kind of no surprises there. Just got up pretty nicely and quickly. Then as we're going downwind, lost a bit of height there, but that's could be contributed to that we are going into lee side all the time, as the wind is coming here from the north and we're jumping over, and as we get lower the air gets a bit more messy and sinky, and so we just kind of follow the mountain range and the top of the mountain, trying to get something off of it, which worked a bit, but not too much. At this point I was thinking, okay, the day is not really working all that well, because I mean we got a really nice thermal in front here, then a kind of somewhat nice one here, and then after this it just didn't really work. And with north wind, it's a tricky wind for us to fly on this particular takeoff site. Also we're kind of going in the lee side of all this mountain range here, which makes the line here a bit messier. But as you fly away from it, in this case we're going kind of east of away from it, and the wind is still coming from the northish, so the air gets cleaner, thermals get better, and that's what happened here. And as we were getting down low here, I was a bit nervous because we were like really at the ridge height, so I head for the place that looked to me the best for a thermal trigger point. And the reason for that is that you have all these fields in front here. There's a change in terrain, it's kind of a tiny col, and this creates for a better thermal trigger point than say a straight ridge line. So I decided to go head for it, and sure enough it did work. We got up pretty nicely. So we got really nice climb up there. We're both real happy. It's like, okay, let's try go farther. Let's check it out. Now we're at the cloud base, stopping out here, and the flight seems to be going super sweet. We're super excited. Awesome views. A bit cold because it's we're doing this flight in May, but it's amazing. Like I got up here again, really nice. And at this point, the sky is still open and blue, and it's just we're having the time of our life, you know. Then the first indication of trouble really started after this next climb here. We got up here really cool, like real nice thermal, just kind of looking on the way in between. And so far so good, flight's amazing. So here, topped out again, and I could have gone up higher probably, but I thought, you know, 2.5, almost 2.6 is enough for me to cross over. And and usually the next mountain in front works really good, and if I move up here, this mountain range should work so nice at this wind direction. And surely enough, I got something on the way there, but then I didn't really work it up too much, just enough. Again, to the same about I would say 2.5, so 100 meters lower than the thermal before. Could have worked a bit more there, and then when I got here, that was my first sort of mistake in the flight. This thermal here, I could have stayed longer and worked it more. You can see I'm drifting with the wind a little bit too much. I got the initial thermal here and then drifted too much and eventually fell out of it, and when I was looking for it, I never really went back to the original source. As you can see, I drifted here to the right side where I should have gone back to original source and see if I can get the next thermal, next bubble. Didn't do that, so I went forward and I was kind of looking for it here. Also, nothing really worked, and I wasn't that high anymore, just kind of sustaining. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna jump to this one, and to me at the time this looked better, which looking backwards is not really the case. And I was still pushing forward at the speed that I had before, because we had these nice thermals just here going towards there, and this was the first place of trouble, first place where the thermals weren't really working anymore. I should have recognized that, and I should have slowed down, which I didn't. I kept pushing forward, and here as well I had a decision to make. I could have scratched more and risk landing here down low in the front in this valley, which takes quite a bit of a walk out. These valleys doesn't really have people there or traffic much, if you're lucky to get a car in an hour or two. I had that in my mind that, I don't really want to land out here because it's gonna be taking long for us to get out, where this road on the right seems to be a better option. Also, I thought I'll connect to the mountains on the right here. There's the valley coming here, should be working nicely. That was my mindset why I went there, but really I should have first worked there and before jumping over, and here I just kind of decided, you know what, I'm gonna go downwind and see what happens there. Not the greatest decision, and even here on the way I got a lift, and this was probably the bigger mistake of the flight. If you look in detail here, I again drifted too much. Just on this turn you can see how the turns in front are tighter, and then I moved like almost double the distance, and then tried to find something. And sure enough, it got lighter and lighter because I'm on the lee side of a thermal here. If I would have stayed more in front or came back after this turn in front there, maybe again I could have gotten the bubble better and climbed up higher. And here the altitude is now 1840, so I'm getting lower and lower. And you can from this side you can see that there's a more climb here, and then it flattens out. So I should have gone back there in the retrospect. Anyway, so I thought, I lost it. I'm going downwind. I'm going to have a good glide. So I'm going to connect to this mountain, which I did. And the glide was fine. But it was already in shadow here. And nothing really worked. There was the dynamic. So I was right about that. The local system, even though we have this prevailing north wind. So up high, it's kind of a bit north. But this local valley system is still pushing in from the sort of westish side right here, like that approximately. And so I managed to stay up here by using dynamic lift, and I thought, it's tandem, I gotta slow down. I made 2-3 mistakes just before, and I thought, you know what, that's it, I'm staying here, I'm working to get up as much as I can. I'm flying a tandem after all, and it's a bit harder to land in tight spots with a tandem than it is with solo, and I don't want to have that extra risk. And here I had a landing option right here below, and there's fields in front there, and there's some fields there, so I had a lot of options to land here. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go up. Then when I got up a bit higher, now I'm at 1900, about the same altitude I arrived, just 150 meters higher. I could see that there's some sunshine on these mountains, and I thought, okay, this mountain could be working better, and the valley wind kind of comes around here. Let me zoom out. So the valley wind would go around here and kind of touch that mountain nicer. The winds, as you can see here, is already more westish in my thermal. I kind of went with the valley wind, and as I got higher, so it's also now it's about 5 p.m. in the evening, and the north wind is switching a little bit towards west. that all combined, I thought, okay, this mountain looks better than where I am now. It's a bit taller, it's a bit more at a steeper angle, it has a little bit of sunshine, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go there. Also, lots of landing options, always a good idea. So, and it did work a bit, but I was again a bit impatient. Like you can see here, there's little aids, and I could have worked it better. Come back here, but I noticed that there's sunshine on here, and by now, because it's after 5 p.m., the sun is shining on these things more, and this is more southwest facing, and this is northwest facing. So in the evening, sun goes around, so northwest is better in the evening than it is in earlier in the day. Plus, there's those nice fields here. You can see there's this blacky thing, sand on the mountain, which is color changes, which is good for thermal triggers. Also, this village with these fields here, it just kind of looks really nice for a good thermal trigger point. So I went there and didn't really work, but it was zeros. Zeros are better than minuses, and eventually got a bit more low pluses. So I got a bit higher, and I thought, I'll jump to the next one, and the reason for the jump to the next mountain was because I saw sunshine again. At this point, everything was in shadow. The clouds was covering all of the sky, and the little bits of sun rays got through and heated up a patch of ground. The day was semi-unstable, and in a semi-unstable day, the moment sun comes through, it gets really nice thermal straight off the bat. It doesn't take long to heat up it and go. I also waited a few minutes for the sun to heat up the ground before I jumped there, and then I jumped there and I eventually found a thermal. It was already better. I could turn, and this was perfect, just smooth tight turns. I looked around, maybe hoping for better, came back and got a really nice one and got all the way to the cloud base. This was ecstatic. Like, we both were so super happy. It took us so long. I mean, it's 5:40. We arrived here at 5, scratching around, and even before here 4:30, so it took really long time to get out of here. At this point, we're at cloud base and back to 2.5, super happy. The sky wasn't too dark. It was dark, but not too dark. So at the cloud base, we had really nice glide, even some lift at times, like right here you can see. So I thought, I might turn a few here, and just topped it out back to 2.6 or 7 even. I did this just to make sure I connect to this next mountain range. Now, this beautiful mountain range in front of us here, I call it the highway. It goes from Saint-André to Saint Vincent, to this Serpenson Lake. Even though we were at 2.6, 7, I still used every little bubble to climb up. I didn't want to risk not connecting or hitting some sink, you never know. And we had no rush, so I thought, you know what, just slowly top it everything out. And then, sure enough, we connected to the mountain range here, and it was just going straight forward, no worries, everything was great. Kind of hugging the mountain ridge here, just going forward, having a good time. It's 6 p.m, crossing over a bit low, maybe could have tried to work up a bit there. And then this was kind of late in the day, the sky was covered, and it's early, it's still spring, so springtime 6:30, 7 with covered skies, you don't really get that much action anymore. And I decided that I have to go for landing because I'm pretty low there, pushing forward, and landed out on a nice beach.